We looked at the market research, asked them, where did you get the expected passenger numbers from? Internally. Meaning what? Top 3 4 people got some passenger numbers and stuck it in there and created a model. But by doing that, what happened was the incentive structure changed. Incentive structure changed, and people who had money went into construction. People invested in construction. This construction company, that construction company, third construction company, right? Because there was so much money to be made. And it was not competitive. It was favor-based. It was unsolicited proposals. Let me share with you that there are instances that the government has been asked to pay, I'm talking billions, for projects that people have completed with no contracts. There's absolutely no contracts. It's a verbal contract. So what I'm trying to say is, relative to the difficult exports, investors found something much better to do that ultimately was going to be very positive on their bottom line. That is what smart people do. Given the opportunities available, pick the best one. So it is in this context that those who are even trying to compete, tough, still competing, because they have the GSP plus, they were given a double blow by saying, look, I'm sorry, I don't think GSP plus is important, let's forget about it. So also mind you, this was done even though there was or there were a number of studies, people who were able to sort of project where the industry was going to go. So the stagnant export sector must be revitalized. EU is important. That is why, even though I got personally attacked by various journalists and others, I did undertake this arduous task to go to London and try to speak to people of Sri Lankan origin on the Brexit. You know, my argument was simple. You know, I said, look, it is you who are going to vote. I mean, you. The essential the reply was, well, I mean, there are too many Polish people in England, and they're taking all our jobs. So it came down to a personal issue, and the Economist recently did a very interesting analysis. It showed where migration was taking place within the EU, and actually the largest component was from Poland to the UK. I mean, they were from France to Germany, from Ireland to the UK, and vice versa. So it's a cross border migration, but this was a fact. And so they voted on personal lines. But what I told them was that, look, 40% of what we export to the European Union goes to the UK. So if the UK comes out of the European Union and that goes into force, then the value of GSP plus becomes less than what would otherwise be. Of course, we all know how the Brexit vote went. So it is important to even at this point try and give the necessary boost for the export sector to go. The second one is Europe is Sri Lanka's largest export destination, and what we saw is that after the GSP plus, that the rate of growth into the European Union grew rapidly, and that overtook the US. Then in terms of apparels, over 60% of exports to the European Union is apparel. So the country-wise, what I found was Italy was the largest at 18%, Germany at 14%, Belgium 9%, France and Netherlands at 7%, and others. So it is important that getting the zero tariff into the European Union, particularly for apparels, is going to be significant. Then I was talking about EB and others, ensuring a sort of a level playing field. That there are 45 free trade agreements with the European Union. 45 countries have free trade agreements with the European Union. So most of those are able to send in their exports into the EU at duty concession or totally duty free. Then 58 countries have duty free access to the European Union. So we are paying 9.5% duty at least for apparels, and those other countries, 58 countries have duty free access to the EU. So we are completely at a disadvantage. So we have to get that back. So however experienced you are, however efficient you are, don't forget that others are also equally efficient who are competing and getting into the European Union market. So if we are at a huge disadvantage, it is certainly a negative, and we must work to get it back. And the next one and the last one is enhancing Sri Lanka's export-oriented FDI. So this is what I was saying, right? So when the incentive is not there, investors are not going to come in. So Sri Lanka is a small market, and how many people would want to invest in Sri Lanka for the sake of selling in Sri Lanka? So obviously, it is important that we are able to expand the market for Sri Lankan exports so that investors will come in. And that takes me to my sort of last section, is the need for greater market access to other regions, whether it is to FTAs or otherwise. So the government is, before I go to that, just one more minute on this. Let me officially let you know that our application has been lodged at the end of June, and we are now in the 6 months review period, and we have sort of agreed not to talk too much about the technical issues during this review, which you will understand. But internally there is enough discussion that is taking place. I am 100% confident that we will get GSP Plus back, and that once it gets the approval in the EU, it will go to the European Council and the European Parliament, and at that forum the EU will defend us, because if they were not, we are working together, right? So there is no issue of people saying, look, you know, we shouldn't do it in Sri Lanka. The European Union is fully behind us and backing us. So then we are looking at another 2 to 4 months time in the European Council and European Parliament. So you can add that time, and within that time period, like I said, I am absolutely confident that we will have GSP Plus back. Now, beyond that is my last couple of minutes. The other trade agreements that we are pursuing. GSP Plus is not enough for us to the EU. We need to have a more comprehensive trade agreement with the European Union, and that should entail not just products but services and investment. So that is the road we are taking. Our thinking is that we must become the most competitive, most open, most globalized economy in this part of the world, which means necessarily that we integrate with the important trading partners and diversify our export basket to others. So European Union is absolutely important for us. the United States is absolutely important for us because those two countries, regions together, account for most of our trade. And as you already know, we are progressing with the ECA with India. We are progressing with the free trade agreement with China and also a free trade agreement with Singapore. And I think the Singapore agreement should be, and I think we will, push it hard because the benefits through the Singapore FTA would be quite significant, and also it will give us good training for our people in the negotiation, because we need to move towards greater market access with the US. And as you know, we've been having a series of discussions with the US government. Recently, we concluded the last round of TIFA, the Trade and Investment Framework Agreement. The US Assistant Secretary for Commerce, Arun Kumar, and US Assistant FTA, Mike Delaney, were both here. There's Sonali and others, Saman and others, had a full day's session. We are moving that forward, but it is no longer necessary to do a free trade agreement with the United States, because the United States is part of a 12-country TPP agreement, which the US government is quite certain will go through in the lame-duck session of Congress after the election, and that is assuming Trump doesn't win. But then he'll build a wall, and then I don't want to speculate what might happen after that. But and assuming these events will flow, then we are ready for